You know, Kentucky mornings smell different when you're 68. They smell like wet grass, the old wood of my porch, and time, yes, time has a smell now. I sit here with my coffee and watch the sun break through the fog and think about things that we old fools usually don't talk about. My name is George. And I'm officially single. Don't get me wrong, I'm not complaining. America is the land of the free, and I earned my freedom. But recently, a guy in the comments of my video asked, "George, what are you going to do when your legs stop listening to you? When you can't walk to the bathroom by yourself and there's no one in the house?" At first I wanted to curse him out. I thought, another troll. And then I stopped. Because this question is like a cold shower at 4 in the morning. I've seen it happen. I took care of my father for 10 years. For 10 years I was his hands, his feet, his eyes. He fought cancer like an old lion. He lived to be 92, and only in the last 6 weeks has he given up on his bed. I remember his look, the look of a man who had always been in charge and now had to ask his son to help him roll over onto his other side. It kills faster than a tumor. Dignity is drained away. And here I am. I have no son to sit by. I have my dog, my garden, and this old house. My plan. My plan is to fight until my last breath. I would rather crawl on my elbows on this floor than be locked up in a white-walled institution that smells of bleach and despair. In America, we say, "My home is my fortress." Well, I'm going to hold the defense of this fortress until the end. You ask, what if you fall on your porch and break your hip? Yes, that's true. One wrong step and you're trapped. That's why I'm a maniac now. I look down at my feet like there's a mine. I plan every move. I eat things I hate because it keeps my muscles toned. Independence is the most valuable currency I have left, and I'm not going to waste it on nonsense, but there's something else. Community. We Americans are used to being lone wolves. But a wolf dies when it gets old if it doesn't have a pack. I've spent the last few years trying to have people around me. Not relatives waiting for an inheritance, but friends. A neighbor who'll stop by if the light in my window isn't on by 8 o'clock. A guy at the auto repair shop who knows I like strong coffee. This is my insurance. Not a piece of paper in a lawyer's office, but a human. How are you, George? I know many of you listening to this right now in Ohio or California or Texas feel the same way. You're afraid of being a burden. You're afraid of becoming a number on your Social Security statement. I'll tell you one thing, don't give up too soon. Enjoy the sunshine. Breathe deeply while your lungs are working. We are the generation that built this world, and we have the right to leave it on our own terms. I don't know what tomorrow will bring. Maybe tomorrow I won't be able to lift this cup. But today I'm drinking my coffee, looking out at my garden, and I'm the master of my life. And if death comes for me, it's going to have to fight because I'm going to go screaming out loud and clinging to every ray of this damned beautiful sun. The second part of our story immerses the viewer deeper into memories. The philosophy of survival and the same American spirit, which does not allow you to give up, even when your knees betray you. And the phone is silent for 3 days in a row. This is a continuation of George's monologue. He finishes his coffee and his voice becomes quieter, but firmer. Script Last Autumn on the Porch Part 2. Shadows and Light. George's monologue. Do you know what the hardest thing about being alone is? It's not the silence. You get used to the silence like an old dog sleeping at your feet. The hardest thing is the realization that you have become invisible. To the government, you are a Social Security number. To drug advertising, you are a target audience. And to the world, you are just an old guy on the porch. I remember my father looking at his hands in his last days. He was a mechanic. His fingers could take apart a Ford engine with his eyes closed. And then there came a day when he couldn't hold the fork. He looked at that fork as if it were a traitor who had stabbed him in the back. And I saw it. I wiped his face and changed his sheets and thought, oh my God, is this really going to happen to me? In America, we're obsessed with success. We love winners. But nobody teaches us how to lose to our own bodies. People say to me, George, sell that house, go to a care facility. There's nurses there, There's bingo on Thursdays. Bingo. Are you serious? I've driven trucks all over the country my whole life. I've seen the Grand Canyon at dawn and I've fought in Chicago bars. And now I have to sit in a room that smells of antiseptic and wait for them to bring me Jell-O on a plastic plate. No, that's not my way. My plan is preventive warfare. That's what I call it. Every morning I do my warm-up. Every joint screams, "Stop, you old fool." And I say, "Shut up, we're still going to the mailbox." I plan my diet like I'm training for the Olympics. When really, I just want to have the strength to lift a bag of food for my animals, you know. I believe in God, but I also believe that God helps those who help themselves. My faith is not just a prayer before bed. It's the decision to get out of bed even when my back hurts. It's the decision to smile at the cashier at the store, even if she's the only person I talk to all day. I've created my circle of trust. It's not hundreds of friends on Facebook. It's 3 or 4 people. My neighbor Bill is 75, but he's still as strong as an old oak tree. We made a pact: if one of us doesn't come out on the porch by 9 in the morning, the other one will come and check. That's our pact. Our little security system in a world that doesn't care. Sometimes at night, when the wind blows against the windows, I get scared. Really scared? What if I die here and no one knows for a week? But then morning comes. The sun touches my trees again. And I realize life is not about how long you last. It's about how you live this particular Tuesday. I want you to hear me. If you're alone right now, if you're looking at the bills and the empty house, you're not waste material. You're the bearers of history. Your wrinkles are a map of the roads you've traveled. Your loneliness is not a sentence, it is your last battle for dignity. Take my example. Be uncomfortable. Be the offended outcast if that means being honest. Don't let the system put you in a box labeled pensioner. Breathe the air while it is free. Love your dogs. And most importantly, never, hear me, never stop looking at the horizon. Help may not come. Perhaps no one will come running to answer the call. But as long as I have a spark in me, I will fan it into a fire. We will rise together, even if I have to lean on a stick to do so. The morning is ending. The coffee is getting cold, but there is still a whole day ahead, and I am going to live it as if it is the best of my life. Because, honestly, I simply do not have another. Double quotes. Have you ever wondered what remains of a person when their titles, their jobs, and their ability to run faster than the wind disappear? What remains is their voice. And I want my voice to ring out now in every home where someone feels forgotten. 10 years ago, as I held my father's hand on his last night, he woke up for a moment. His gaze was as clear as the sky after a thunderstorm. He whispered, "George, don't be afraid of the dark. Be afraid of the fact that you've never seen the light." I didn't understand then. I understand now. Death is not the enemy. The enemy is regret for what you didn't do. So I tell you, while you can move, move. While you can love, love. My aging strategy is not about medicine. It's about the spirit. I see people my age who have already given up. They sit in front of the TV, letting the news suck the life out of them. They're afraid to go out in the sun because it's too bright or too hot. I won't be that. I'll be the old man who makes the neighbors wonder. I'll grow my tomatoes as long as my hands can hold a shovel. I'll feed my animals because they depend on me, and responsibility is the best medicine for senile dementia. America is going through a tough time right now. We're seeing conflict, we're seeing prices rise, and stability disappear. Many of you write to me, "George, how do you survive on your paycheck?" And I'll answer, I'm rich. Not in money, I don't have enough. I'm rich because I don't have to prove anything. I have my porch, my freedom, and your support. This YouTube channel. You know, I planted this seed 8 months ago. I thought it would just be a hobby, and now I see it blossom. You are my digital family. When I read your comments, I feel like I'm not alone in this field. We've created a safe place to be weak in order to become strong. If you're young and watching this right now, don't look away. Look at your parents, call them. Not because you have to, but because tomorrow you might find yourself in my place, staring at the empty chair across from you. My final plan. It's simple. I'm going to live life to the fullest until the candle burns out. I'm going to laugh. I'm going to argue with politicians on TV. I'm going to thank God for every breath I take. And when it's time to go, I want you to remember not an old man dying, but a man who stood on his porch, holding a cup of coffee and wasn't afraid of the future. I'm not an exile. I'm a man who chose his path. And I invite you to walk with me. Get out of that chair. Go outside. Breathe in this air. Feel the sun on your skin. You're alive. And as long as you are invincible. The sun is up. Time to feed the dogs and move on. Thank you for being with me today. Remember, we don't just get older. We rise. We grow. We become who we were always meant to be. Take care of yourself. Be mindful of what's around you. And never let anyone put out your light. See you tomorrow. We will rise together.